In a previous episode, I showed you how to make circular Manhattan pads using a metal punch, and this is a circuit that I made up recently using those pads, and it does a very nice job. You can make up a whole bunch of pads in a short period of time, put them in whatever your favorite container is, and have them ready for any project. Now I'm going to show you how to make square pads. Now, if you're not a real maker or want to do everything yourself, you can buy these things commercially. Rex Harper W1REX has a company called QRPMe, me.com, and that's because he's in Maine, and he has a large number of little kits, and he sells these little pads. I bought two PCBs of them, and this is some of them. I broke the board apart a little bit, and anyway, these are 1/4 inch squares, and they're just a little bit too large for me, but they'll be just fine for you. And I forget what I paid for them. And he also has some smaller ones, but I wanted another different size, so I'm going to show you how to make your own and to any size you want. Now, you're buying your printed circuit boards from abcfab on eBay. And the owner is Bill, and I sent him an email the other day because I bought 6 boards a week or so ago. 6 boards that are .030 inches thick, which turns out to be, I'll just do this, 0.86 millimeters thick. And what's nice about these boards is that you can cut them with scissors. You don't have to have a shear. Let's see, and I'm going to show you how you can cut them with a box cutter. And I'm sure you've got a box cutter handy because you've been getting everything from Amazon.com, and you get cardboard boxes and you got to cut them open to get to your goodies. Now this is going to be what I call the AA7FO patented pad maker. Now I made this up. This is my second one. It's 2 centimeters by 14 centimeter board. You go in Home Depot and you're going to have to tell them it's you want a 1x6. Nobody does metric. They ought to be doing this. Okay. What you do is I sacrificed a ruler. You need to use steel or aluminum, and I just chose to take a yardstick that's made out of steel, and I cut it up to length, and it's a little bit longer because, anyway, and you're going to make this little fixture. Now what it consists of, I used an 060 printed circuit board, and it goes from here to 5.00 millimeters from this edge, so that there is a shelf or a slot in here. And I made the first one out of PCB, but I found out that in cutting, running the blade along this edge, I was shaving 10, 20, 30, whatever microns, and my pads kept getting smaller, and I was wondering what was going on. And okay, so get you a piece of board, now you can you can sacrifice one of these or part of one of these boards and make it, and then this gap here will be 030. Put some tape under it so it's just a little bit small, larger, so that you can take the board and slide it in here and butt it up against that PCB here. And now you've got a strip that's 5.00 millimeters wide that goes down the length here. Now I'm going to use some force, so I go and take a Home Depot springy grippy thing, and this thing requires a great deal of force, but that's what you need here. You hold this board in place, you take your super duper grip, and I put the one end on the table, push down, then run this over the board and lock it down. Now I've got a cheap Harbor Freight thing. Yeah, I think I've got another one of these, but it's going to take me a day to find it. So, okay, you need 2 clamps, and I'm going to do this one on this end. Now this has got this board locked in very tightly, and whenever I take the blade, my box cutter, brand new blade, and I run it down this edge here, the board is not going to shift. In my previous fixture, I put a piece of PCB along the edge here, but I don't want to do that because I'm guaranteed that the distance here and here is exactly the same. All right, taking your blade, the first pass you do it at a low angle here. This is high angle, this is low angle. Do it to make your first cut because it's easy. This does take some force. You'll have to do this. Keep your fingers away from the blade. All right, now raise it a little more and do this again. And then as you get higher here, you're going to be able to grab this thing and use a little more force. And hear it, and make this cut a little bit deeper, and you're going to do that about 5 or 6 times, maybe more. And I'm not going to do it here because we need time. Now you remove the board, and you see I've got this little cut, and there you go. You can see I've got a groove. Now you turn the board over. Make sure you use the same end, stick it back in here, hold it in place as tightly as possible. Take your grip. Whoops, where am I? Okay. Same thing, second grip, and you do the other side. Okay, let me put this where you can see it. And once again, we cut it. Now, you're going to use brand new blades. Now, I know when you got the cutter, you bought a pack of 100 blades for $10 or whatever it was, because you knew these things were going to dull. We cut cardboard, whatever. I find that I can do 3 strips with one end of the blade. Then I take the blade out, flip it over, put the new end in, and then I can do another 3 strips. So that's about 8 or 9 cents. Say it cost a penny a strip for board wear out. After you've done this both sides and gotten a deep cut, here I've done it off camera. I've got one here. I think it's deep enough. It looks deep enough. You're going to take your needle nose or chain nose. I'm a fan of chain nose pliers. You grab the board like so, and you twist it just a little bit. Go down here. And I can hear it break a little bit. Then you don't do it all at once. Then do the other side. Like so. Now it comes loose. So now I have a strip that's 5.00 millimeters wide. Now, then you take your, I guess, I got this at Home Depot or whatever, your sandpaper block, and I've got 180 grit, and it's not sandpaper. This is for fine finishes, and I think it's carbide or whatever. And you run the board back and forth. You will note that I'm not going to do this on camera inside the house. You do this in the garage. You do it outside on a windy day where the wind blows it away, because the substrate between the copper is called FR4, flame retardant number 4 material. It's fiberglass and epoxy. If you do this inside the house, you're going to wind up with real fine dust, and you're going to learn to spell mesothelium, whatever it is, and you're going to learn to call the 800 number and get you a lawyer, and you've been warned that you're going to wind up with COPD. So that's my little fixture, and here's a couple of boards that I did before. And if you take your Harbor Freight metric caliper and you measure these, you can see, let me get it, you can see there's 5.01. This is not very good. Doing this on camera is not very good. And here I got, if I can do it, I get 5.06. So it's close enough for government work. So you can make these all day. Now, you cannot use this fixture to make this square because it's just too small. So now I'm going to spend part of your child's college tuition, and you're going to go to Amazon and spend $17. Now, you may already have one of these in your office. This is a $17. This is called a guillotine paper cutter. It's got a little, you know what it is, for cutting paper. And I love this thing because it's got metric. Now, this board is, or this strip is longer than 10 centimeters. So, well, let's see, if I got one I haven't played with, evidently not. But anyway, you're going to line your guide up here with 10. You're going to put the PCB piece up against it, and then you're going to cut the very end of it off. Then you're going to move this 5.00 millimeters, make another cut. Now let me get this to where it was. Okay, this is it. Whoops, it's off a little bit. It's because my blade is too far down. Okay, let me move this up, sorry. Live, okay, this is at 9.00 centimeters. So lift the blade up, move this over 5 millimeters, and this is going to be, this is what 2 years of kindergarten teaches you, to be obsessive compulsive. Now you put your strip back in here and you cut, and it cuts just so easy. Now you wind up with a 5 millimeter square, and you can do these in short order, and I made a few. And I put them in my little patented container. Now when you get down to the end with this particular cutter, it's got to stop, and so it stops at a little less than 1 centimeter, so I cannot accurately cut the last 1 centimeter. So I'm going to wind up with a 5 millimeter by 10 millimeter rectangular pad, and I can use these. So save them. Save every little piece. Now, not every little piece, because there's that first piece you cut off is going to be too small to use for anything. So I've got squares. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Here's a demo board that I did using the squares. And I used some QRPMe squares. I did this because Dave Richards, AA7EE, and I got into a discussion about coating. He didn't like PVC, and so we were looking for silicone, and I found an outfit on eBay and Amazon that had Teflon coated number 22 wire, but it's too flimsy. The the PVC coated wire works just fine, and get number 22 or number 20. What we'll find out is when you go to heat up the pad to solder the wire, the PVC will shrink, and in the case of the red, it shrinks a little bit, but it discolors. And some of the other ones, this is navy blue and white, it does okay. So this is what connections look like to pads. This is a transistor and this is a resistor. I use 62-36-2% solder, which has 2% silver. It's going to be one of the most expensive things you buy. Buy a 1 pound roll. I prefer Kessler. You can get Alpha Metals on eBay. Now that's 62-36-2, and I did a pad here with 63-37 tin lead combo to see how it did. If it was just as shiny, and it's almost, just a test. So either do not get the 60-40, these combinations of 62-36-2 and 37-63 are eutectic, which means it goes from liquid, molten state to solid state without becoming plastic. And that'll prevent you from getting ugly looking joints or cold solder joints. Oh, let me show you my patented technique. You see this little resistor here, how neat it looks? Let me show you how to do that. You're going to need some vector board, and I'm going to need a vector board because I don't know where I put it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. All right. 1/4 watt resistor. Okay. Now this is a 33K. The reason I know that is it goes orange, orange, orange. Then there's a gold or copper band here to show percentage. I'm going to mount this so that when I read the value, I do it top down. It's an obsessive thing, but it's necessary when you're debugging things. Take your vector board and now I've destroyed this thing. Take the straight edge, and there's a gap between the first row of holes and the edge, and you put the resistor with the little top bulby thing in there lined up with the hole. You can get a little, you get the point. Now take the tip of it and put it in position and bend it from the end. Then squeeze it, and voila. You've got perfect bend. You can do it that way every time. And see, obsessive compulsive. And then you take your chain nose pliers and you can bend it, ready for mounting. Now you just say a couple of millimeters here, bend this at 90 degrees. Okay. 90 degrees. Then on the other side, you're gonna go off 0.30 and bend it 90 degrees. See, all right, got it? Now when you go to mount it on the pad, voila. You can solder in place, and you decide whether you want the resistor on the edge. I would center it and then tack solder it there, then go and solder the ground. Now I use a Weller, and I think it's an SR23. You can get them for under maybe no, I think they're more than $20 now. They were $19 or $14 a long time ago. Okay, I did a little test here. I took my 5mm. I took a QRPMe pad, and then I did a circular pad here, and I used a LC meter from Taiwan. It's called a DE5000, and it's better than a AADE LC meter. And I measured these capacitances, and I got, where's my cheat sheet? There it is. For the AA7FO pad, I got 1.9 picofarad. Now we're down in the noise level here because you're generating other capacitive effects, so don't worry about it. The QRPMe square pad came out 5.7 picofarads. I'm going to go back and remeasure that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And then this little critter here came out 2.1 picofarads. So you're going to wind up with some capacitance. Let's see, is that it? That's it. I wanted to do this in short order. I don't know how long this is, but I bought a Canon EOS M50 camera because my little Kodak died. So this will be what I'll be making videos with in the future. So I've got a bunch to make today because we're going to go and build a Wilderness Radio SST transceiver, and I'm going to use these pads. I'm going to build everything from now on using these pads because that's what you're going to be doing. So stick with me. Please likes, and come back. Lots of work to be done, and I'm going to take off like a bat out of hell. Here we go.